So, when it comes to being positive, it's a good thing. However, being positive can actually cause you to fake it till you make it, which would lead you to blocking your breakthrough. Now, in today's show, we're going to talk about how you may be deceiving yourself through positivity. Tune in now. Blocking your breakthrough. I don't know where you are in your life right now and what it is you desire, but I really feel strongly that many of you are desiring some major things in your life, and you have these big desires, and you really want to see things manifest. You really want to see your life unfold like the vision that you have. You really want your dream to take off, but you're not aware of the blockage that you have placed in your life, and you're not aware of it. You're not aware of how your thoughts, your beliefs, some of the things that you've been replaying and telling yourself for years over and over again, how they're working against you. You may not be understanding how some of the concepts that you have thought in your mind, or you replayed, in your visions, how they are working against you, or even some of your relationship experiences and what has happened to you in the past, and what you have told yourself about those experiences, the story that you have told about those experiences. They are blocking you. The stories you have of yourself, of what you've been through, the relationship experiences, the childhood trauma, the heartbreak, the disappointment, all of those things have been shaping your life. And many of those things have caused you to block the very desires that you have. I really just want to shine light on that and really help to guide you through that blockage, because really a big part of manifesting and receiving the very thing you desire and opening your heart to receive the blessings that have your name on it, a major part of that process requires you to allow it in, to allow it to flow in. But see, if you have an emotional block, if you have a spiritual block, you can't let that in. You have all this spiritual blockage, mental blockage, emotional blockage that is hindering that very thing from flowing in your life. And so really you getting clear, getting real. And so this is what we do. We fake it till we make it. We say, okay, I feel like I'm not good enough, but I'm not going to say that because that's negative. I'm going to speak positive. And so I'm going to say that I am good enough, but really I feel like I'm not good enough. And so your words may say one thing, but deep down inside, your heart is deceiving you, because your heart feels against what the very thing you desire. And so you got to stop faking it, and you got to get real with how you feel. You got to get real with that situation, and you got to work through that situation. See, I'm all for being positive, right? When it comes to being positive, you want to still get to a place where you identify your truth. You identify that authenticity in you, that is in you, and you work through that. That's why I talk about healing, inner healing, and working that out, working through whatever it is you're dealing with. That is important, it's necessary. You may say, I want this amazing family, I want the husband, I want the child, I want the lifestyle and all of that stuff, but you don't believe that you'll ever find someone to love you and cherish you and be committed to you. Why? Because you feel like, because of the past and what has happened, you don't think that you're capable of being loved because that other person did you wrong. And so how can somebody really do you right? You have these feelings, you have these beliefs, yet you tell yourself, oh, I'm getting ready for my husband. Oh, I'm getting ready for Mr. Right. Oh, I'm preparing myself. I'm positioning myself. Well, you're not positioning yourself until you deal with that belief, until you heal that feeling of not being good enough. You're only deceiving. Your heart is deceitful when you're not being true to what's there. And so you got to be true to what's there. You got to clear it out. You got to do the inner work. You got to get to the root. You got to tell a different story. You got to believe a different story about you. And regardless of what your past has taught you, you got to understand that you can create a more prosperous, more abundant, more amazing future if you begin to heal from the past. If you begin to heal from all of the lies, all of the doubt, all of the disappointment of what has happened to you and what happened around you, as you do that healing, you better clear yourself to allow what's really there for you. Because when you really think about it, allowing it is what it's required. Getting to a place of aligning yourself, practicing the belief of it. You've been practicing a belief that has held you back for so many years. And you got to go back and you got to change that belief. If you want something different, you got to believe something different. You need to go back and you need to say, no, I'm no longer in agreement with any beliefs that are against me. I am no longer in agreement with anything that's blocking me from receiving my blessing. I am no longer in agreement with disappointment. I am no longer in agreement with failure. I am no longer in agreement with loneliness. I am no longer in agreement with poverty. I am no longer in agreement with being a victim. I am no longer in agreement with doubt, with insecurity, with low self-esteem. I am no longer in agreement with anything that's coming against me. I'm speaking against those agreements, and I am aligning myself with my truth. I am aligning myself that I am an overcomer. I am aligning myself to know that I am strong, that I am prosperous, that I am healthy, that I am wealthy, that I am loving, that I am abundant, that I am opulent, that I am prosperous, I'm flowing, I'm thriving, I'm evolving, I'm more than a conqueror, and I will not allow anything to block me from allowing and receiving what's meant for me. I know that it's mine. God has placed the vision in me. I see it, I believe it, I feel it, and that's good enough for me. I am good enough for all good things. Nothing is above me. I am good enough for all good things. Nothing is above me. I am good enough for all good things. Nothing is above me. Somebody needed to hear that today. And I just want to declare that over your life, that you got to begin to practice those beliefs. You got to begin to practice what God has said about you. You got to begin to practice the belief pattern of love, the belief pattern of joy, the belief pattern of peace, the belief pattern of prosperity. You got to practice the belief pattern of what it is you desire, and know that all things are working together for your good. Allow it. That's what you gotta do. You gotta allow it, because you already asked. You already put it out there. You already put it out in the atmosphere. You already spoke it. You put it out. You prayed about it. You envisioned it. You already put it out there. Now it's time for you to align yourself to allow. I want to go ahead and remind you guys to go ahead and pre-order your copy of Sis, Be Nicer to Yourself: How Self-Sabotage and Codependency Blocks You from Manifesting Love, Happiness, and Money. Get your copy at sisbenicertoyourself.com. And I'll invite my husband.
A person asks, how do you remain positive in the midst of all those things?
That's a great question. That's a really good question. So even in the midst of negativity, even in the midst of those negative thoughts, you work through those thoughts. Wherever the thought is, you get real with it. You write it down. Like, this is the thought I'm believing. I'm believing that I'm going to always be lonely, or I'm believing that I won't find love. Just get real with that thought. And then you need to begin to work your way through that thought. I really feel like I may not find love, but that's really because of my experience in my past. But I know that I can have something different than what I've had before, because life has taught me that there are new experiences that can come in your life. And even though I've never experienced that love before, there are other things I had never experienced before that I had experienced in my life, like getting a new job, starting a new career. I had never experienced those things, and then they came. I didn't know I could ever accomplish what I did before in my career, but it happened. I know if that can happen, it's a possibility that in my relationship area, even though I feel like I'm in a low place, I know that I can work through some things, and it's possible. I could probably meet somebody, there's a good chance that as I work on me, I'm open to the idea that it's possible for me, what I really want. Even though it seems impossible, I'm going to work through that thought. I'm going to continue to practice a belief that resonates with me. So you're not being fake, and you're not just saying, oh, I'm going to be married tomorrow, because you don't believe that. But you're just working your way through in a more general way, and you actually comparing other areas in your life that are going good. You can begin to see, this improved in my life. Or maybe you have a great relationship with your children or with your mother. Whatever it is that's going good, it's something that's going good for you. You can begin to utilize that and work your way through that. And it's definitely a process. So it's really something that you don't get right away. And I can't just give you all of that in this one video, but it's definitely a start. Just to start working through that.
Oftentimes people have these experiences in their life and they abide in that hurt. And the problem of it is that they have a placeholder sitting at that unsatisfactory feeling without realizing that they healed, that they made it through, that there is something positive to learn from it, that they didn't stay there, that they are not in that season anymore, and God allowed them to make it through that space. But instead of recognizing that they had the opportunity to get through it, they had the strength to get through it, that God provided them the necessary skills and fortitude and mindset to be able to sustain and to be able to get through that situation, they keep reminding themselves of what happened and how it felt when it happened. Yeah, I went through a situation where it was unsatisfactory. Yeah, I went through a moment where I didn't like how that felt. However, I know that I was able to get through it. I was able to heal from it. I was able to, get out of that situation. And yeah, it can be tough. It can be challenging to do that. But we have to remind ourselves not to abide in the hurt and abide in the unsatisfactory feelings.
Yeah, and the only reason it's hard is because you've already have a program, a pattern that's been working against yourself. Those thoughts, those doubts, the unbelief, the hurt, all of that. So you just gradually work your way through that. But it's a consistency. It's a daily practice.
Yeah.
It's a daily practice. Some people, they only work on their spirit on Sunday. They only focus on prayer, on their inner being on Sunday. Or some people do it only when they listen to certain messages or whatever. But you got to have a committed practice for yourself to make sure that you're working on you every single day. You have to be a priority to yourself.
It's not something that you turn on and off in the midst of different company, because sometimes we can be influenced by the company we surround ourselves with. It has to be something that we truly believe, because at the end of the day, it's just like, we've seen a number of movies where somebody felt violated at one point, and it's like it's not enough washing of yourself that you can do to feel clean, because that dirtiness feeling is in your mind.
Yes.
So it's an inner working in your mind mind that you have to continue to do on a daily basis.
Somebody just asked the question on Instagram, how do you learn to fully enjoy your new relationship, knowing that the one I left was the best thing that could have ever done? It was 22-year relationship, but me that just lost the number. We never married. Okay. If you're fully not enjoying your new relationship, it really has more to do with what's going on with you. You got to get to the root. What are you needing to address? See, we avoid those thoughts. Remember, I told you we fake it till we make it. We don't address that negative thought that we're thinking that's blocking us from enjoying wherever we are in our life. And so what is that thought for you? In this new relationship, you have regrets because you're thinking of the past relationship. That's something that you have to work through within yourself. And it really is not, no relationship is going to fix that for you. Even if you went back to that past relationship, you'll still have some unsatisfying feelings that something is off. And that's because it's something in you, the inner work that needs to be done within you. And another person cannot fix that. They just can't, no matter who they are or how great they are. You know it's the right time to get into a relationship when you're just allowing things to flow. You're not forcing anything. You're not trying to make anything happen. You're enjoying your life. You're thriving. And being in that relationship is natural. Just like you know who you are as a person. You know your name. It comes naturally to you. You know what kind of person you are, what kind of personality you have. It flows naturally to you. A relationship should flow naturally to you. A relationship should just flow. It should not be something that you have to make happen, or let me try to go on this date. Let me see if they like me. Let me see, what should I do? Should I wear this? Will they like that? Should I do this to my hair? No. When you can naturally be you, when you can naturally flow in you, you can naturally connect with the right relationship. That's what a healthy relationship is. That's the type of relationship you want, because you don't ever want to force anything, to chase anything, to become something for something. You don't want to have to fake who you are just to be appealing to a relationship, but it should flow naturally. When it aligns with you, when it naturally connects with you, when you naturally living your life and thriving, and they naturally coming into your life and thriving with you, and you just flowing. You are flowing together. Nothing fake about it. And you're not worried about whether that person is talking to another person or what they doing or where they at, because you are so good and so at peace with who you are. You know, you are just so comfortable with who you are as a person and how you're flowing in your life that it doesn't matter what another person is doing, because you know who you are, and you know you are irreplaceable, and you know that you have a natural flow, and you know that everything work together for your good. And regardless of what that other person is doing, you're gonna always be good. You're going to always be taken care of. You're going to always be thriving. You're going to always be growing, because it's not about another person.
Do you believe in separating from family members you continue to clash with?
Yeah, I think you should make some space. I think you should love them from a distance for a while. Maybe you just put a little space in between the time that you're with them, and work on you. Work on how to get to a place of peace where you're not resentful of them and you're not upset with them. But when you are around them, you can love and forgive them, because really that's what you want. You really want to love your family. You really want to love people. You don't want to be in resentment. You don't want to be upset with people. That's not really what you desire. So if you're out of that, you need to get clear. You need to make some space until you get yourself to a place where you're not bothered.
When you continue to clash with people, you definitely identify the fact that your energy is off and you're in a different place mentally. And you don't want to surround yourself by anybody that's creating toxic energy in your life, especially when you're trying to get on a path of peace and healing. And you want to protect your peace. And the best way to protect your peace is to separate yourself from people who are interrupting that peace.
Yes.
You know? Give yourself
Yes.
some space so that you can keep the peace that you desire for your life. You create an island around you where there's nothing but peace surrounding you. What if it's a generational curse? Generational curses are basically passed down beliefs
Yeah.
from family members to family members,
That
you
can be
know,
broken.
and they can be broken, you know. So you are not bound by any belief that had been in your family from years, you know. I think that there are a lot of beliefs that circulate in families that keep people from believing that they can do the things that they truly desire. But you see the ones who break out of that, who believe that you know, they are capable to do all things, that God has strengthened them to be able to overcome any circumstance, any obstacle. They are not bound by circumstances, how things look around them. Those individuals rise up above where their situation may look, and even in the same place that everybody else is in, and create things and do all type of things that the people in the same environment will be astonished by seeing. You know, so you never want to limit yourself. It all starts with the mind. It all starts with the belief system. Once you tap into the belief that I can do anything, I am not held back by my circumstances. I don't believe what is presented in front of me. I know that I have a specific purpose and that I can do the thing that I believe, regardless of how things may look right now, and then see that those things will fall off of you. Those beliefs, those generational passed down ideas, those things will fall off, and you won't even hold on to them anymore. And you be creating things and living a life that your family never thought of living, that you be experiencing joy that your family never experienced before, because those mindsets and ideas and experiences, the way of life, will be foreign because you won't be attached to that idea anymore. How can you get over being around people that's only around you when it's only to benefit them?
Right. It sounds like, in a sense, the fact that you know that they want to be around you only for their benefit, and you're allowing them to be around you knowing that they're using you for their benefit. You got to ask yourself, why are you allowing them to be around you? And you know that they're using you. Is it something about them being around you that you feel is beneficial? You feel like they're using you for their benefit, but you're allowing them to be around you. So it's something that they're bringing that's a benefit to you as well, whether you realize it or not. So a lot of times maybe it's something that you're dealing with, maybe a little bit of loneliness, where you're willing to be around toxic people who are using you just so that you don't feel lonely. You're using them to feel your loneliness. They're using you for their benefit. We always get what we put out. Like, everybody is reflecting to us something about ourselves. If you know that people are using you, and they're around you, and you're letting them in your space, and they're in your inner circle, and they're hanging out with you all this time, and you know that, you got to ask yourself, what is in me? Why won't I let go of people who use me? What am I feeling? And the reason why I can share and answer this question is because I've been there. And sometimes it's people pleasing. Sometimes it's just wanting people to be happy. Sometimes it's just that codependency struggle of feeling guilty. But the more you grow, the more you learn how to self-care and self-love and be one with God and really enjoy your alone time, the more you get so clear and so comfortable in your own skin, you're not going to compromise your space with people who are using you. You will no longer tolerate it. You won't need to tolerate it because you will know that you are way more valuable than allowing people to come into your life to use you. This is exactly what the message is about. This is how we block ourselves from our blessing. You want the blessing of wonderful, healthy relationships, but you keep allowing toxic people. So you're blocking the healthy ones from even finding you, from even connecting with you, because you're blocking them. When we really heal, everything around us transforms.
Yeah.
We love you. We just want to thank you guys.
You can email us your question at support@RainieHoward.com.
Also, pre-order your copy of Sis, Be Nicer to Yourself. We love you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We really enjoyed this show and connecting with you all. Now I want to hear from you. How will you begin to allow your breakthrough to flow into your life? Let me know in the comments. Also, be sure to share our messages with others, like and subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to connecting with you in the next show.